Picture a landscape near the end of the last ice age, endless white plains, a biting wind, and a river frozen solid across its width. For the hunter-gatherer bands who lived in these northern latitudes, a frozen river wasn't a curiosity. It was often the only road available, and sometimes the only obstacle standing between a group and the food, shelter, or migrating herds they depended on. Today we're going to look at what it actually took for early humans to cross ice like this, why they risked it at all, and what archaeology and modern cold climate survival research tell us about how they managed to do it without how they managed to do it without they managed to do it without. The first question is simple: why cross at all? The answer, in most cases, comes down to following food. Migratory animals like mammoth, woolly rhino, and reindeer didn't stop for rivers. They crossed frozen waterways as part of their seasonal routes, and human hunters who depended on them had to follow suit. Staying put could mean missing an entire herd for a season, which in a marginal ice age environment could mean the difference between a full winter store of meat and hides, or a very lean, dangerous few months. So river ice wasn't just a hazard to be avoided, it was frequently a calculated necessity, weighed against the risks of hunger on the other side. That said, ice itself is unpredictable, and Ice Age people understood this danger intimately, likely through hard experience passed down as oral knowledge. Ice thickness varies enormously depending on current speed, depth, recent temperature swings, and snow cover insulating the surface. A river that looks solid can conceal thin patches near inflows, bends, or areas of faster current underneath. Modern cold region survival guides still teach exactly the kind of cues these ancient groups likely relied on. Listening for cracking sounds, watching ice color, clear blue-black ice is far stronger than white, air-bubbled ice, and testing footing carefully before committing body weight. So how did a group actually organize a crossing? Ethnographic accounts from historical Arctic and subarctic peoples, such as northern Siberian and Inuit communities, give us a strong comparative model, since they face nearly identical challenges using similarly simple technology. Groups typically crossed single file, spaced well apart, so that weight was never concentrated in one spot and a single failure wouldn't take multiple people down at once. The heaviest members, or those carrying the most gear, often went last or were roped or tethered with hide cordage to companions already on solid ground, turning an individual risk into a shared, manageable one. Tools mattered too. A long wooden spear or staff wasn't just a weapon on these crossings, it doubled as a probe. Tapped ahead to test the ice before each step, and as a horizontal brace if someone did break through, since a person lying flat with a pole spread across the gap has a far better chance of distributing weight and climbing back out than one struggling upright in open water. Some groups likely laid down hides or woven mats to spread pressure further. None of this eliminated risk, but it converted a blind gamble into a managed, skill-based operation, refined and taught across generations rather than remitted each time. This is really the heart of the story. Survival wasn't about individual bravery in a single dramatic moment, it was about accumulated, transmitted knowledge. Children would have learned river reading skills the same way they learned toolmaking or tracking, through observation, supervised practice on low-risk ice, and correction from elders. Anthropologists studying traditional cold climate societies emphasize that this kind of environmental literacy, knowing a landscape's moods and warning signs, was as vital to survival as any spear or fire. A frozen river crossed safely wasn't luck. It was generations of accumulated trial, error, and careful teaching, condensed into a few confident, practiced steps. Of course, not every crossing succeeded, and the archaeological and historical record includes sobering reminders that ice travel carried real danger even for the experienced. But the broader picture is one of remarkable adaptability. Early humans didn't conquer the Ice Age through brute strength alone. They survived by reading their environment closely, cooperating as a group, and passing down practical knowledge that turned a genuinely lethal hazard into a routine, if respected, part of seasonal life. The next time you see a frozen river, it's worth remembering, for our ancestors, that glassy surface was both a lifeline and a test, one they learned, over thousands of years, how to pass. So, the next time you drizzle honey into your tea without a second thought, spare a moment for the countless early humans who got there first, with sticky hands, watering eyes, and a few unfortunate stings to show for it. It's a small, sweet reminder that some of humanity's oldest habits weren't really about survival at all. Sometimes, then as now, it was simply about wanting something delicious badly enough to risk getting stung for it.